Okay, everybody, I'm going to call to order the Monday, April 8th Golf Commission meeting. Happy Clips and Masters Week. Why don't we do a roll call? I'll start. Peter Sechrist.
Mike Harrington.
Mike Feinstein.
Sarah LaTerza. Lori Mangialuca.
Bob Bigonet. Peter Grace. Bob Corman. Liam Heron.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to waive the Pledge of Allegiance. I guess we have to wait for a flag to do that? I don't know why we've always done that, but we've done that recently.
Well, we said at the last meeting we need a flag.
Yeah, I guess so. I did remember that. So first of all, I want to welcome our new commissioners. I was going to ask you to say something, but I've heard that you already did that.
We already did that, so we're good.
Oh, no.
So Sarah, Lori, Bob, welcome. Thank you for volunteering, and we appreciate that and look forward to all your good ideas. And we'll have a good run with you guys here. So I sent you guys an email and kind of gave you a little bit of the lay of the land, but usually for every meeting, the crew send out the relevant material, and we'll run through the kind of agenda as is, and if there's anything you individually like to bring up, do that at the usually we do that in the new business section, but that's kind of the way we run things. I try and run a quick, fast meeting, but
You do hold the record.
well, I do hold the record. So first order of business is to act on the minutes of the March 11th meeting. I think only Mike, the two Mikes and Liam can vote on this because I was away, and obviously the three new folks weren't here, and we lost a couple of well, didn't lose them. They're off the commission. So, does anybody have any changes to the minutes?
Yeah, I thought it was understood that CUSO, that they were not only going to install the garden, but they were going to be responsible for maintaining the garden, and it doesn't say that.
Okay.
So
I'll add that.
Yeah. They did agree. He did when he was on the phone. That they did.
yeah, they do that up there as well. Okay. Anything else? You want to?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
I second. So we vote?
Oh.
Whoever it is.
I think it's
Oh.
all right. We got through that painlessly. Let's move on to staff reports. Pro?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Sarah.
Thank you.
Bob, thank you. Together. Sure. Don't have much to report. Of course, it's unbelievable in March. It's crazy. Awesome start. I am concerned that April has been a little rainy. As long as it keeps happening during the week and not on the weekends, I think the ledger will be okay. I have to say that all I'm hearing is that the golf course is in phenomenal shape. People are raving about it, which is nice to hear.
Have you been able to get carts out each day?
We had a few days we didn't. We were closed a couple of days, actually.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But we pretty much got cart path all the way around, so
Okay.
we usually can get them out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have lots of there. It's been unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
All the leagues and clubs have started. Men's club had their first event this weekend. Ladies and the seniors are all ramping up, starting tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's good. About it.
What's up with the driving range?
I'll give you what I know,
Okay.
which is very good. As you all know, the RTM approved all of the money. So, and we had it pretty far along with the top tracer and cover the tees vendors for the 20 bay part of it. We had a meeting Monday with, was it Monday, they called. They were just going, a couple questions about the contract. They went back to the vendor to rewrite some things, and then they were supposed to give it to us today. I didn't see it. And once the contract is signed, they're going to give us a date to start. And when it starts, it's only supposed to take a week.
Wow.
Really?
Well, I think their part,
Incredible.
Yeah, well, their part's 4 days, and we're hoping we
Yeah.
can get the concrete done in 3 days. But either way, it's modularly built, they bring in, kind of drop it in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's, very exciting, I think it's gonna be wonderful.
Anything more on the short range area?
So we've had 2 different architects come out, and take a look at it, and we're waiting for them to draw some plans, so we can pick one of them, and then we can send it out to bid.
Where's it actually physically gonna be?
Yeah, they want it to be between the softball field and the left side of the driving range.
Sure,
Good question, I mean, not my ideal first choice, but that
Where's
parcel is
your
about,
first choice?
it's about 80 by 140. For the one at Tashua, just as a reference, it's 60 by 100, so ours will be a little wider and a little deeper. I want it when you drive in on the left.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's wrong with that?
I guess it's no wrong.
Have we given up on the left side of?
Well, that's what we're talking about. I'm not giving up on anything, that's just not
I didn't know, Anthony,
my,
what, I
Is
talked,
that conservation that's?
yeah, that's conservation land.
I talked to Bishop, the conservation officer, and he said there is no environmental reason to object to that piece of property. His understanding is that is designated as open space, and that's why we can't have it. But that open space property is controlled by the Conservation Commission. And I was hoping Anthony would be here to see if we couldn't appeal to the commission to see whether they would be willing to give us that open space for what we're trying to do.
That sounds wonderful to me, but it does feel a little sweet.
I don't know how you want to proceed with that, but that's,
That would fall under Anthony, obviously, right? Yeah, he'd have to be the one.
Yeah, that's probably, I'll bring that up
It'd
soon.
make a lot more sense as you're driving in, out of city.
We're right there, yeah.
absolutely.
It would look beautiful.
it would look nice, yeah.
And I think the ground would keep going, you think the clearing would be a lot less? Oh, yeah. A lot less money.
Well, they felt like
It
the
doesn't have to be
property.
the whole area either, it just has to be just a little section.
There's room there for whatever you want.
What's Bishop's first name? I can't remember. I'm having a fall.
No, that's a.
He is the town conservation.
Bob, is that space as big as the other space you're talking about? Is it bigger? I'm trying
The one
to
on the
picture it.
left?
Yeah, on the left.
Yeah.
It's plenty, so there wouldn't be.
There's a lot of room
What do
back
you think,
there.
Bob?
You could go out as far as.
Take a look at it right here.
We,
I probably went
we
through.
pulled all the top maps and we just, I still think it can be a great short game area in between there, but to me, it's just a little squeeze.
And this is where they want us to put, right here.
Another trap.
We were hoping those lines were like, okay to go.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I think there'll be enough money to do it right.
What's encompassed in the short game area?
So we're hoping, well, I'm hoping, we're waiting for them, we're letting the architects decide. What I feel is giant putting green and a big wedge green.
Yeah.
Where, very similar, you ever
Couple
seen
of
Cashman?
grass.
Oh, yeah, you ever seen Cashman in Venice?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to what they did,
Yeah.
2 bunkers.
Good.
Yeah, it should be great. A little bigger than Cashman, the idea right there.
Yeah.
You need a little more wedge room. Perfect.
So this is
Everyone, everything.
I can't really tell how much room there is.
No, we can.
Yeah, that's what's
You know,
good.
it doesn't really,
Yeah. I'm just glad.
But any-
I thought it was dead for a while there.
Anything is an improvement.
Yeah, but, no, that's for people walking in the open space.
well, that's why it's like.
There's plenty of land over there, too.
That way maybe.
Oh, yeah, this is, here's.
Oh, this is-
We're in conversation, I don't know, I know it's not me, but.
Who knows what's in there? Oh, yeah, I made a note.
Yeah, and I'll give Anthony a call if they're ready.
And I know, we know,
Back to the parking lot for range.
my wife is Bishop, so,
Yeah, no, he was surprised when I called, and I said, our understanding is you guys have rejected that property, and he said, I didn't know that,
all right.
so.
All right, so I'll talk to Anthony, and I may reach out to, the conservation.
But timing, I would think that definitely the range will get done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, we need to address, so it's possible you could rebuild the bays in the next 60 to 90 days?
It is feasible.
So we need at some point to address the rates, hours and rates. So, and that's it. When you
Is there anything on lights?
There are lights.
There are gonna be lights.
But the lights are not what you,
And heat.
Yeah.
not what you think the lights.
They just shine down on the.
You won't even be able to see them from the road.
Right, yeah.
There's dome lighting, and they're very, you won't be able to see your drive 250 yards land.
Yeah, yeah,
You'll be able to see the ball out to about 180, but you'll have a monitor tracking.
yeah.
I can't see a 250 today.
And if you think about the lighting. too,
Where does the lighting go? Does it go down?
It goes on top,
And shine.
and then in
Oh,
the
and
ground,
it's kind of
and
shoots
then
out,
in the
kind of
ground.
down. Oh, and then in the ground.
It's really great science. I can show you guys the lighting.
Yeah, send that out.
I send it, yeah.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
Yeah, because people have this thing that they're gonna be like this big highway.
Right, like, the
It's not-
softball field.
No, it's not
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
It's really great science, actually.
So when I listen to the finance side of this thing, hours are a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I mean,
So we bought a new
Everything
machine.
I.
Yeah, no, we planned to have the hours resolved last year.
Okay.
And we are resolved right now with ball machines open 6:30 to 8 p.m. right now. 6:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. The ball machine last year was 11. And by the time I got them to warranty the motherboard, it was November. Then it started working. So what would happen every once in a while, the guy would use his card, one bucket, and the whole thing, all 5,000 balls would come out. And we tried every trick they could come up with, and finally, still knock on wood, so far it's been working this year. So I agree, I mean, that would be the first thing you do, is increase the hours. And so far,
I mean, you know, from afar, and again, I'm new, but the fact that they allocated this money, I think is huge. If we could show them some revenue, I think that would be huge too.
I think it's going to be great.
Because I think, you know, we have some people on our side going forward.
Right.
And, I think it'd be good if we could make them happy, any way we can. But
And it turned out the RTM vote was overwhelming. So
Yeah, I think, well, I don't like, I think that.
it was like 2-1 or better.
New Britain did the exact same project, 20 bays, identical thing, and they were up almost 200% year one.
Yeah, I think that will happen.
So I don't know, I mean, if you doubled it, it would be awesome, but we gotta at least get 20% more to cover the top tracer lease.
Yeah.
Pricing will be,
Pricing, yeah.
will be important.
Yeah.
And I've studied it.
Will you bring that, you'll bring that to us?
Yeah, I've studied the
Yeah.
pricing, and I have an opinion, but you guys,
Yeah. Well, it'd be good to see the comps, what
Yeah.
people are doing.
yeah. It's tricky, because you're at $6.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I think it's a better experience.
Yep.
I think,
Yeah.
even, $6 was a great deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Is a great deal, I guess, currently.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any questions for Bob?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Just, IDs are off the charts, like 50% up through March. Am I missing something here, or is it?
I think the season started early. I think that'll level out by May.
Seems extreme, but okay. That's great.
You mean the resident IDs at 563, or the total, which one you talking about?
The total resident ID is 861 versus 572 last year.
I literally think that's because we got 3 weekends in March instead of 2.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't, I thought it too. I thought it was large.
And revenue was commensurate.
Rounds are the key there, to get 400 more rounds.
And that was just a couple of weekends with.
It's just weather
Better
dependent. We
weather,
had
yeah.
beautiful weather.
Yeah, we opened
Fall
on
on the weekend.
15th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was Friday, so we got
Yeah,
the
we
weekend.
you get 3 weekends.
Yeah.
The weekend drives are really increased.
Okay. So, thanks, Bob. Admin report, Anthony's not here, but Bob, you just started looking at the numbers, which he usually runs through. Appreciate that, Bob, on the rounds. I think what's interesting to me, one is the resident IDs, but that makes sense that we opened earlier, so people are hopping on a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Also, which is nice, for the 3 new folks, you probably know, but we dropped the junior rates, and we're getting
Yeah.
you know, we did a pop there in junior.
Yeah.
IDs, I don't know, Bob, if that's sort of running
I
in
hope it
line
would, yeah.
with last year, but that jumped out to me as a positive there. Season passes, I never know really how to look at that. It's kind of a small number, but, you know, we did change the non-res seniors, and we've seen a little bit of a drop off there. I don't know if that's
And
just
also-
early in.
Also, Peter, I know the Board of Finance was interested in our non-residents, and it's a big increase in non-residents so far, and just so far.
Yeah,
Versus last year, too.
yeah, good point. We're still, I guess, they did mention the previous ratio of 3-to-1, which is historical. I don't know if we'll ever get to 3-to-1 now that, we have, well, I'll address that in a second. So anyway, a good start off on IDs, obviously good start off on rounds. Like you said, Bob, weather is going to be dependent on all this, but good start for sure. Although it's weird, you know, strange, the driving range was like, did that open up at the same time as the course?
No.
Oh, it didn't?
It's still wet, and
Oh, okay.
it doesn't make sense to be open if you're losing money.
Yeah.
So-
You can't get balls probably either.
Yeah, you lose the balls, they're 53 cents each.
Yeah.
I'm charging $6 for 42 balls.
Right,
Um,
and they're getting buried. Yeah, they're plugging, yeah, okay.
But I think that is odd, usually the range would open first.
Yep, okay,
I
good.
still think it was a
Appreciate that.
great decision.
Yep. Anything on the, I know last meeting you guys changed the lockers for the unused lockers. Did anybody jump on that, or did we start paying?
So, I put notes on everyone's locker that had one in there,
Okay,
and we have not,
no one's jumped on it?
sent an email, but no, I don't think we're gonna get much traction.
So,
And did you somehow advertise the $75 the reduction?
They're gonna send out an email, spring kind of thing, but.
Still early, who knows?
Yeah.
Start paying people to take them. Take them out there. Okay.
There's 7 locks in there now, so left over.
Oh, is there
To give
not?
you a feel for it.
How many lockers are there?
85, I think. I thought, yeah, 85.
85? Well, it was a good 1 year though. First year. Okay. Even good numbers at par 3 too, right?
Right.
For putt
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I guess I'll just go over maybe, I'll let Bob's here, just go over some of the, comments that were made, at the Board of Finance meeting. I asked Anthony to,
You want to
do you want to, yeah, we got a whole thing on that. And, I didn't hear back from Anthony, I guess he's busy, but maybe he'll comment on this next time. But, if you guys listen to it, there was a couple, I think, themes there. One was on rates, both, on the senior rates, and, I was concerned by one number there that we were increasing rates, for seniors. I don't have the, I thought that we had, like maybe you remember, Liam, I thought during COVID, we stopped, like we went through a couple of years without raising rates on
I thought
seniors.
so too.
I cannot
We
remember.
were emailing about it. I don't, Bob, do you remember?
That's before.
It was before, Bob, that's why I was about to tell you.
It's been every other year.
Yeah, you
It's
came
been
in
every other,
22.
it has. So that's what Anthony said at the meeting, I
That's how
know.
I've seen, but I thought we had done a couple years during COVID, right at COVID that we stopped, but maybe not. But I think we've been pretty sensitive around that.
But we caught back up. We got back on the rate,
Every other year.
the rate projections that we had, that had been put together by the long-term plan, and that we also had agreed to. I don't recall whether we gave a break during COVID or not, but if we did, we got caught up.
I think the guy was upset because you raised the senior rates and lowered the junior rates, even though the junior rates were way out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lowered that, so that kind of, I think that's why he was upset.
Well, he was also, I think, saying, you guys need to be nice to the seniors.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the senior rates, I think, are appropriate.
As a senior, I think $21 or whatever it is pretty fair.
Yeah, speaking
I
of.
heard what he said, and I'd love to lower the rates, but let's be real. It's
Yeah.
a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
for
pretty,
you play what, 150 times a year?
Right.
Right? That's $150. And
Yeah.
it's just not that much money in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, but-
I agree. Even though it's not 150.
I know, TV stuff.
but you know, what's interesting is every time we've analyzed the season passes, we have as many people exceed the break-in number of rounds as we do fall short.
Under, yeah.
Yeah.
Those who exceed it often exceed it, like
In a
Bob
big
does,
way.
by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So if you did it on a dollar basis, you might find the season pass is costing a little bit of money, but if it's costing $10,000 or $15,000, I'd be amazed.
So, in that case, I don't need fighting for the seniors. That's
You have a voice.
right.
Yeah, I thought there's a little short side on some of those things. So, this was a comparison in my hometown, the seniors pay $110 around.
And you know, the thing about,
Oh, in Aspen.
Yeah.
That's right.
the resident, non-resident thing is a legacy from 10 years ago. And it was part of the analysis to make sure that the course operated in the black.
Mhm.
And part of getting in the black was making more money on the non-resident rates. Now, we've raised the rounds since then,
Mhm.
running up about 45 to 50,000 rounds.
Mhm.
And we've raised everybody, and the tide raises all ships.
That's right.
So we're still comfortably in the black. But I don't know that there's magic to the 3-to-1 ratio. There is magic to continuing for this course to operate in the black.
I agree.
However
Right.
we get it this.
Well, there's only, I mean, we cannot put more people on the course. We're at 50,000 rounds. We're kind of maxed out there.
The way I see it is, if we can
We're in
keep our revenues high and keep our numbers high and have even more residents play, I think that's the best of both worlds, frankly.
Well, I think our experience is that when we fill up a Saturday, for every tea time we give out, we turn away at least 2 people
Probably right?
or more.
If not
So the latent demand is fantastic.
Yeah.
So raising the rates is not gonna cost us rounds. But that's for next fall.
Yeah. I mean, in my view, the revenue that this course is generating now versus the way it was looking in 16, 17, 18, and 19, the town should be doing backwards.
Dramatic improvement.
So again, to your point, the non-resident rate was also brought up. And by the way, we look at rates in January, February, so we really are not gonna do anything on this now.
But a couple of things about that though.
Yeah.
We've talked about the possibility of, the thing that's cost us non-resident rates is the new 4-up system holding off non-resident tea times till 6 days in advance of the set. We talked about the possibility of abandoning that process through the spring into May 1st, and in the fall after October 1st, and open it up to everybody. And that would possibly get some more non-resident rounds during the slow periods. I don't know what the feeling is about that. And as far as doing that for this year, I don't know whether we still have the right or the authorization, particularly in the fall, to make that change. Secondly, my understanding is the non-resident season pass holders are not subject to the 6-day restriction. They're allowed in on a 7-day basis. So another possibility to encourage non-residents would be to lower the season pass for non-residents, have more of them buy that pass, which is now $500.
Right.
You know, if you made it $450, I don't know if you'd lose any of them, and I don't know how many more you'd gain. But there's some other levers that we might be able to play with that would affect the ratio of resident, non-resident play.
And really, I would think that this is really a weekend situation.
Oh, it is.
It's 100% a weekend situation.
I can guarantee
right?
it. The senior
I mean,
golf,
during the week, you can
our
get
senior golf
tea time.
association is 35%
No.
non-resident. The women are 50% non-resident. I mean, the weekday
The
residents.
organization carries a non-resident number. The weekend plays not much.
The leagues are all non-resident.
The weekend play is what?
The leagues drive your non-resident around.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
50% 50% or more of the women,
Yep,
45%
And
of
that's a
the
strong
seniors.
number of, if you looked at the 39 resident passages though,
Right.
that's 25 of them are events.
and the other 5 are women.
Oh, women's van, I would say they're all from.
I guess my point was, if you were a non-resident and you wanted to plan a Wednesday or a Tuesday, you probably get a tea time easier than Saturday or Sunday?
Not really, no,
No,
no.
the late still have
Well,
to
okay, premium time.
Not before 1 o'clock.
not before 11 or 12 o'clock if you really.
And it's not necessarily the 4-hour system, the course has been booked since COVID. So even if we could still have the 4-hour
Yeah, I agree
difference,
with that.
they still couldn't get on.
Yeah,
Because by 5:10, the course is sold out.
yeah.
So we have to get away from saying that that they used to be able to do it 4 hours later. It
Yeah, that's
has
not
nothing to do
Oh, no,
with that.
yeah, that's right.
'Cause
That's right.
It's sold out
At 5:05 a.m.
at 5:05 for the weekend.
501.
And on the weekdays,
Pretty good.
we did you
The
could
weather's
get a
not-
tea time, but
You
you
gotta
can't.
search,
Thursday,
You got-
Friday.
you gotta keep.
Yeah, still up at
It's like a
5
pickle or something. Yeah, if you went, like, obviously now you could, but if you were
Yeah.
looking for a Wednesday afternoon in July, probably not. It's fluff.
So you have this huge demand. I'm not that bright, but seems to me, there's a way to make some money out of that.
Right.
And I'm not pretending to know which lever to pull at what time, but if you're selling out in 1 minute every day of the week, more or less, and we want to keep the residents happy, and we want to clip the non-residents, in my opinion, in no uncertain terms, we should figure that out. And, I don't know the answer, but it seems like an opportunity.
Well, without question.
No, agreed. So I think we need work on that, we probably need data on that too. There's other things, right, Bob, that goes into the non-resident bucket?
What's that? What was
Other things in the non-resident bucket, I mean, does that, if you're a resident without an ID, does that go into
Yeah,
non-resident?
very few though.
Very few of that?
Very few.
Is that right?
But don't you put
It's
the,
$70 round, you don't have to play 3-4 times to get your play back.
but don't you call the
Yeah.
golfers for outings?
That's what the,
I do,
Yeah.
I do, because
I wonder how many of those-
rate.
right,
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, you're non-resident.
It's really low.
It's often
Even lower.
even more than we think, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
That's the debate, right, since I've been a golf professional, is
It's the
what
trade-off,
what
right?
they need for the town, or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make, it's
Yeah.
a tough balance you guys are asking to get.
Yeah.
Gotta be both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one.
No argument.
No, I know, but
Were there, it seemed to us that there were more non-residents playing in October and November, late November through November. Do you have any data behind that?
I think it's just, we could probably dig in on that just by looking at these reports, but I think it's, myself, I think the demand, like the golfers that play in the fall are generally golfers. like
Yeah.
Real golf, hardcore golfers. So I think you lose the casual golfer, and then it opens up tee times.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion, I would look at the data to probably back it up, that's my educated guess. But, yeah.
But when does that happen?
No, it doesn't, I mean,
Yeah, it's not like
he
September.
saw more around, but I don't think
Yeah.
if you looked at the numbers, I don't wanna guess, but
Yeah.
I think it's just the same, we just gotta look at October, November, December.
Yeah.
But I'd be shocked if it was
That's different.
significant.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, I think we gave a
They used to get a discount, yeah, but to me, I personally didn't think that was smart, what we're selling now every time.
Right.
We were having trouble driving around.
Yep. And then the other item that was brought up was, sort of, strategic planning, capital planning. And I'm gonna save that for, the new business. I got some, thoughts on that, but, we'll put that off for a second. Anything else? Any other questions? Anthony's on here, so he can answer. Why don't we go to superintendent, Peter?
Yeah, everything's going good, my guys are working hard, I've seen water where I've never seen water before. Off the 5th hole, the 11th hole, we're trying to get 18 patched up here, but we're doing a lot of that. course, when you start chasing all that drainage down and then it starts getting warm, then you have an irrigation problem, so that's probably in July. But, right now, everything's good. Crew's working hard, trying to clean it up, and, I played the last few days, and I thought the greens were rolling quite well.
Greens are amazing.
Yep.
No problem pre-planting.
Whoever set in the pin on 10.
Oh, no, yeah, that was, I got yelled at, I made the turn yesterday.
Classic.
Everybody started yelling at me.
Oh, my God.
So, yes, there was it wasn't there today.
No, the greens are amazing. This time of year, spectacular.
Peter, I think the course looks great, but can anything be done about the second tee box?
Don't let people hit irons off of it. Yeah, we're good out there in air fight and.
Like close off half of it at a time, you know what I mean? Like everybody hit off one half and leave it for a month to grow out?
Yeah, and then be right back to where we are.
Did you cut down those trees that the USDA recommended we take? Oh, yeah, we did, and they did little.
Yeah.
I'm taking a lot of trees
That's
down.
not the right direction for the sunlight.
But, it did help a little bit. But, yeah, that's it's on a piece of ledge.
And it's a tough spot.
Would it make sense to use the forward tee box for 2 or 3 months? And try it?
Like we did on the part threes here. So do all the team runs up front.
Well, and specifically for 2, just to keep traffic off of it for an extended period of time. I know it's ledge.
Like I said, we're gonna go out there and airify and, contrast seed it, fertilize it, and get some warm weather, and hopefully it'll spruce up a little bit. But again, it's a very small tee, and mostly everybody using irons off of that tee. We have that upper tee, but that's it's a tough angle. I don't mind that upper tee.
Well, I like it.
I meant the upper tee, I'm sorry. Keep everything, all 4 or 5 tees there.
Oh, yeah.
To save,
Right.
to the right.
Yes.
And what about the new forward tee on 8?
On 8?
Well, there's all the.
I mean, that's just a.
They're all so small, they either gotta be expanded, but again, we're gonna go out this week, if not this week, next week, and airify all the, smaller tees, forward tees, and, seed them, fertilize them.
What's wrong with it? It's a mess, like. Okay.
It's just beat up.
Really beat up.
Yeah, it's because it's so small.
And it's not level, so if you move where the tee markers are, you're hitting
Mm.
on an angle,
What's that, an 8?
on 8.
I didn't know, so you.
Yeah, if the markers are in the back, it's like downhill slightly.
If we go back too much further, it's gonna, you're on the cart path, and going forward more, you're in the pond.
You're in the pond.
So, it's, I always put them back on the regular.
No, I like it that way, it's like it's in that shape.
I'll take it to internet.
Can I see a lot of trees down, and there's a shitload of trees on this golf course. Your decision to take a tree down, I'd love to understand a little of it, because I don't know, you took 30 or 40 trees down, I think, over the winter, I would think.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
For every tree you take down, do you have to get approval, or can you do it?
And well, a lot of orders, a lot of them fell over by themselves that we took down. But
Yeah.
the other ones, it was, from the USGA report, we got, was that 2 years? We went by that.
Yeah, it was about 3 years
Took those trees down. There's still some of those trees we haven't cut down.
Yeah, we still haven't taken down all the
I
trees.
thought, because we were supposed to be taking on the right side of, number 1, those big oak trees on the right side of number 1, by the green. Just haven't had, firm enough soil to get out there to go
Yeah.
get those.
So at a high level, if we wanted to take trees down in a big way, not that we do, a lot of people have, would we need to get approval from conservation to do that?
I don't think conservation, no.
The tree warden?
The tree warden, he'd want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there, and this is,
I mean, it was, I couldn't do anything without their approval. Now we kind of lax on that a little bit, and I said, well, this tree's dead. Well, yeah, you take that down. And, it was like the one that fell on my pump house last year, and still got the other half is still sitting there. Town came and cleans up one half, they didn't get the other half, so. Yeah, we do have the authority
Okay.
to do it.
Is there anyone out there that would wanna buy a bunch of timber and clear something for it?
I tried that one too. No, it was, nobody was,
Relation bad timber, I guess.
yeah, a lot of it.
No, I mean, I'm not being facetious, I
No, I-
assume it's lousy trees.
Yeah, I mean, like the one we just done on 16 over there, that's still some good wood over
Those
there.
are great wood.
Yeah.
That's why I was shocked, I'm like,
Well, you saw as I put some wood out in the parking lot there, because they might put it in the parking lot, people can't take it, so.
somebody in our group wanted to take you the other day, I said,
Go ahead, that's why we put it there. But, yeah, we took a lot of trees down, unfortunately, we got a lot of stumps that, need to be taken care of too. But it's also very good for, turtle, so you're not shaded. Sprinkler heads hit it and it just drips, and just kills the grass, so. Yeah, they all start growing in.
They're growing in, yeah.
We're just trying to stay ahead of the game a little bit. I think we got way behind the game, so now we're playing catch up.
and your list of things you have to do on a daily basis at a higher level of projects, I think, Mike, you put this together this week?
I did.
But, little things that are sort of unsightly, like the bridge that's falling apart at 13.
Hmm.
And I'm, just as an outsider, if you come up, you see that, you're like, this really doesn't look very good. Where does that fall in the pecking order of your things to do? Pretty low?
The bridge?
Well, the stonework.
Well, there's a lot of pecking order, because I got these benches out here, I got doing three, pecking order, the bridge.
Peter, I don't need an answer, I'm trying to understand, you got a shitload of things to do.
Yeah.
You only have X number of people. Something like that is unsightly that could turn people off, and it's a minor thing, because the bridge works. It's just something, every week we come by, there's a beer can in the hole, a rock was in to fill the hole with the beer can, and we're thinking, something should be done here. It's probably 12 or 15 or 100 on your list of 100 things. I'm trying to understand.
No, well, we've done that, we filled it in with stone, not very, but we filled it in with stone.
Underneath, I think
But if it, then a big rainstorm comes through and just wipes it all out again. I don't go out there and check the bridge every day. We try to put a garbage can over the hole that was there to walk in. And again, it's,
Some of it's the skill set of your staff.
I don't know,
You got guys out there that can rebuild a bridge.
we didn't build that bridge, I can't
Yeah.
remember who came in and built that bridge, I think. the
It's in
men's
some men's club, isn't it a men's club bridge?
Probably,
Yeah, I think they paid for it, to look like.
So we should
Doesn't look
maintain
like-
it? Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, can we do that?
Sure.
Can we do what, can the men's club fix the
Could the
bridge?
men's club write the check to fix the bridge?
Why
I don't
not?
know.
All contributions greatly accepted.
I'll effort that.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to approve that.
No,
That's Anthony?
if it's a men's club thing, I'll ask them to do it.
It's probably not that, it's probably like the people dedicated, right?
But, they write the check once.
I know.
They walk.
Yeah, that's why like.
Yeah, but with our permission, they wanna write a check, why not?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
But I'm still
I'm not
having,
against free money.
Sorry?
can you fix that bridge? You have the skill set within your,
That would be no, Mike.
well, then writing a check doesn't make any difference. You gotta put it out for bid, you gotta get the right kind of a contractor.
We could hopefully find a basin that could fix it. Well,
I can look into that, find a guy who wants to fix it, and see if my guys can fix it. I didn't really look at it too closely. Lately,
I think,
Yeah.
Jason Water now.
Yeah.
I know.
I see.
If I may, I just want to offer some backdrop on that bridge.
Okay.
That bridge was money that the men's club raised, that I helped raise to honor a longtime member who retired and had a unexpected heart attack. A super nice guy. We raised the money, the men's club, and I helped raise some of the money to honor the man. So if it's the men's club that's gonna do it, I'd be happy to donate some money to kind of honor the individual who's a good fan. But it was the men's club who raised the money, and the plaque reflects.
Is there a plaque there? I can't remember. There's a plaque there.
He was a longtime member, he was an AT&T, retired, ready to begin his retirement, and had a sudden heart attack, and it was so unfortunately sad, and we wanted to honor him. So that was the
Great.
men's club, and it was a very good team by the men's club, and it was money raised.
Yeah.
I believe he raised about $600 to be able to do that work. Just give us a backdrop, right?
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so, well, let's, Bob, do you want to bring that up to the men's club again?
I will, yeah. One more thing before we leave Peter. Again, I'm new, so I apologize for all the questions. The water problem. Can you give me the cliff notes on sort of a high level, the issue? I mean, you can see it coming across from
7.
Yeah, 7 over 6 to 10, 18.
Coming down off 10, it's coming out the hill, it's coming down 18.
Because I mean, it's been a problem off and on forever.
Right.
Do we know, is there like a cure-all that if we had $1 million, we could fix it?
Well, Zach came up, the numbers in that spreadsheet are from Zach.
Oh,
I had him out here, Peter and Zach and I walked through all those holes about 3 years ago. So they're way out of date and they're way understated.
yeah.
But he went and took a look at what it would take to put in main lines and, and feeder lines and all that kind of stuff. So what's in there, I mean, we all, I think, know Zach, and I think Zach's pretty good. So what was in there at the time, I think was a good estimate of what it would take to get those things fixed. I suspect the approach is still the same. I mean, it's a hill, it's gravity, and it's water, so you've got to put pipes in and drain it out. What's probably off in that is the cost estimates.
But at least,
Now, isn't the big drain pipe on 6 or 18 that was original 50 years ago, aren't we worried about that one collapsing?
This one right here? It's
No,
only a half, it's the old tin, the old galvanized.
But I thought there was one out by where that wood grating is, that runs down, runs down towards the
That's
pond.
an old galvanized, the bottom half of the pipe is no longer, it's just.
And that thing's 50 years old.
There's
And
no pipe there.
and that wasn't envisioned in this list.
I would say, but I mean, even going Congress, you can see water just coming out of the road, just bubbling out of the road. Like, it bubbles out of the approach on 10. Where it's coming from exactly, I don't know. We're chasing down, trying to just dry up areas so we can,
it just, I mean, I'm not preaching to the choir, this is, I mean, an ongoing issue, I think, for a long time.
Right.
We have to find a way to, try to think about it. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I think this is something we've talked about as a commission for a while. We kind of put it in Anthony's hands. He has said, first he talked to the Conservation Commission, I believe needed to run it through them. He believed he had budget for it, but we really haven't heard much beyond that. So that was something obviously that was brought up at the Board of Finance meeting. So I think I think as a commission, we should be looking at sort of capital or strategic planning, kind of a redo, a refresh of that.
Well, what you
And
heard,
the spreadsheet, I mean, the spreadsheet here is a start, a good start, but
the
more than a
Board
start.
of Finance is now more encouraging of and hopeful for long-range plans.
Yeah.
That was not the case previously. So now I think we have an opportunity.
Perfect.
I think there was a delay after the new
After the
clubhouse.
clubhouse, they pretty much said
A
that's
lot
enough
of capital
money.
expenditure at that
Well,
point.
the administration didn't, I mean, I was very involved with the marina. They wanted no long-term plan for the marina either. They just didn't want that approach to looking at the future, but I can tell you the new first selectman sees it really different. So I think we have a real chance.
I think given the last couple of years of like the increase in play and the revenues up and everything, like I think people are seeing it as like the clubhouse paid off. Let's try to keep it going. So I do think that putting these types of things in the long-term plan and ordering with some priority against other things is probably the right call.
Great. Okay, anything else for Peter? Grill him enough?
Are we done with the long-term plan?
No, not yet. We're gonna do a little more on that. Let's move, I want to kind of keep on the agenda. So let's go to the Greens Committee report. Now, we lost half of our Greens Committee. So I think what we should do is kind of relook and appoint.
Well, you lost half, and I'm the other half. And
So I was going there.
I don't know when I'm gonna be back. I gotta get through this chemo thing, and I'm out for at least another couple of months before I'm even gonna be able to come out and walk around the golf course. So if you wanna put somebody in my place on the Greens Committee, that's fine with me.
Okay. Thank you for your service.
Wasn't my choice, but.
Well, I know you're not going anywhere, so you'll be
I'll be
walking around.
We caught my cancer very early last fall. I've been in chemo for 3 months. I go back in the hospital for a week next week. But they're finally saying, even though you're 80 years old, you can handle chemo like you're 50 years old, so they're socking it to me. This next cycle may be my last one. If not, there may be one more. So I'm just looking at a couple more months, and we're gonna get this thing fixed, and
Good luck.
I'm gonna be fine, so I will miss the next meeting, though, I'll be back in.
So,
Anyhow, sorry about that.
so are there, so we had a woman representative of the women's group the last time. We had a male, so I think we should kind of continue that. Is there anybody who'd like to volunteer to be on the newly formed Greens Committee?
And I'll do it.
Don't everybody jump off at
I'll
once.
do it, and I'm gonna bring Bob along.
Oh,
Don't you
I think that's
really?
I think to do it. That's fine.
an awesome committee.
Perfect.
Great. Do we need to vote on that? Is that a voting thing, or can we just do that?
Basically, we do that.
All right, someone, what's that?
You can appoint them.
Oh, okay. Whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you want.
All right,
I
why don't we make a motion? Someone,
I nominate Bob and Sarah to form the new Greens Committee for the 2024 season.
I second.
all right, vote?
Aye.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sounds like we're in unanimous, so thank you very much for wow, you're volunteering all over the place.
You're up next, Lori.
Thank you for that. You guys have a report? No.
Yeah, they're great.
They're great, perfect.
They're
Perfect,
The Greens are good, but we're good.
yeah.
That's what the Greens Committee does.
What, 13? Division 13 is terrible.
Yeah, so that's sucky.
Not the green.
Right,
Right.
yeah. The infrastructure committee. Okay, part 3.
Haven't played it yet, but I'm playing it next week.
Perfect.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, good.
Decent shape.
John, can you give us, can you give us
The winter really well.
Yeah.
We airified the greens for most of them today, we'll finish tomorrow, and get them all top dressed and buttoned up, and we should be ready to ship shape.
Good.
Why did you airify? Just kidding.
Are you doing ours?
Oh, that is a question. August 11th to 12th.
August 11th, 12th?
Yeah. As it comes to fall, no outings, no big tournaments for ladies, men, 9-holders, so I'll be ready to go in 9 hours. Feel okay? Huh? Feel okay? A little time, yeah. Yeah, they're full course.
Okay. Old business. Pete, I meant to ask you this when you were talking about yours. I wasn't here last meeting, but I know you guys talked about expanding the putting green.
Right.
Any movement on that since the last meeting?
Well, it's not gonna happen right away, but, Zach gave me a number, it's probably $25,000 to $30,000. That's, materials and, but we haven't, I don't know if you guys want me to design it, so, I mean, I'd like to get an architect in there, because we had Fazio design 16 for us.
Okay. Is he busy?
And I don't know if I get Fazio back in here to design putting green, but, like I said, it could be 25 to 30,000, I don't know what an architect would charge.
Okay.
I can find that out, but the question is, do we want to lose that big tulip tree there? I think we have to if you want to expand the putting green, but, but now, it would be still a fall project anyway.
Okay. So at some point, we have to look into getting an architect?
I would think that'd be the smart thing to do. I don't want to be responsible for making that goofy putting green, say, who designed this?
You're talking about extending it like 20 feet back to the walkway?
Coming back and over towards towards Fourth Tee. We were debating whether we want to get rid of that back. I kind of like that back bunker on the green. So I think we want to just go as far as that. And, just give more room for putting. You know, we used to have 3 putting greens, now we're down to that one small one. So.
Right.
But it never seems to be that crowded.
He gets his kids camps out there.
Well, that's about, yeah.
But you are building another one.
But that's where
But
we're
we are having a short game either, so.
if you get the people who are just practicing in the kids camps up at the driving range on the new putting green, I don't know that you need to. I think you need a few more holes than the one that we have, and just kind of leave it. Or at least see what happens after we have another putting green.
So that's the short game area up top.
Yeah.
You think an architect would charge to expand the putting green 10 or 15 grand?
No. Oh, no, from drawing the plan?
Yeah.
No. And he's saying cost of building about the 30. I think if it's gonna be the same guy up there, I think we could probably nudge him, help us a little bit over here. Yeah. I don't know, it's gonna have to be built on it for sure.
Oh, yeah. First guy in. You talking about the green up there? Green up there?
In the short course area.
Well, yeah, I mean, eventually if you do the short game area, you're gonna have a significant putting green there,
Yeah.
which will alleviate any of the programming coming down.
I'm kind of inclined to put that kind of money back into the course than the putting green area.
That's right.
I kind of like that too.
Then you have a week to see what the short game looks like.
Right.
Right, we're doing a nicer short.
Right.
Get through the year here first.
Maybe a couple more holes to Sarah's point, not a bad idea.
Okay, good. Okay, so, new business. I thought we now have with, a full group of, commissioners and new commissioners, I think it's, and kind of building on what we heard from the Board of Finance, I think it's a good time for us as a group, to start thinking about, kind of short-term and long-term strategic planning. We've been talking about drainage, we've been talking about cart paths. We have this big list of things that we've come up with. But, per kind of what Craig Curley was speaking about in that meeting and some of those other members of that board, I think it would be great if we kind of got together and kind of formalized what we feel are sort of the, as I said, sort of near-term and long-term needs and objectives and goals for the course, the operations, and what kind of projects may be coming up, some of the things that were done in that 10-year plan. When did that 10-year plan end? 2019, so it went from 2009 to 2019. There's probably stuff that went down in 2010 that could be revisited. And I don't know, is that plan on the website? I could not.
Yeah, it is, and I encourage all of you to go look at it. It's on the website, and I can show you.
Is it in the Golf Commission?
Anybody want a copy?
On,
I'm
yeah,
extra.
Okay, well, yeah.
but this is an excellent model, and I think we should all make this required reading. You gotta look at this thing and see the way it was put together, how they justified it, what they described.
Yeah.
And understand the context. The Golf Commission at the time, and I'm old enough that I was there, said, we want to put together a plan in the absence of specifically asking for any money. We just want to educate the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, and the RTM about the golf course and what the long-term plan is. And the objective was to establish a context within which each year they would come ask for something additional to Peter's operating expense budget. It may be rebuild a couple of bunkers, whatever it was. And so and the plan came to $1 million total, and they said we're roughly coming for $100,000 a year, and they would come anywhere from 80 to 120. And each year they would come and they would bring some projects, and they would say, remember what we told you in the plan? This is what we were talking about then, now we're coming forward, we'll do this one this year, this one next year, this. So they set the whole thing up. And the timing for us in a lot of ways is perfect, because it was, as you all saw in the Board of Finance meeting, it's something that's on their mind. And as I recall, Craig said they did this in the fall before getting into the budget cycle, which just consumes everything. Nobody wants to hear anything about anything during budget time. And so for us to do something over the summer with the thought that we might have some presentations this coming fall would make good sense. The list you got there that I put together, and the way that came about is I started driving around the golf course with Ralph Butera, and then I drove around the golf course with Peter and Bob, and then I got Zach out there, and we put that together, but our time horizon then wasn't 10 years. And I wonder about things, for example, Peter, do we know when Zach rebuilt? I mean, the average life of a bunker is 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And we got bunkers out there that have been there for 6, 7, 8 years. And do you have records on which bunkers were done in which years by Zach? So one thing that never made that list in any manner, shape, or form was addressing bunkers over a 10-year time horizon. We did cart paths, we did trees, we had this guy come out. That was all pretty simple stuff. But that's what we need to do, and we need to get a group together and repeat that process.
Do you have like an Excel spreadsheet with 42 bunkers here?
44.
44, when they were last done, or you have the records somewhere?
Oh, yeah, I got all of that stuff.
And he redid some of them completely,
Yes.
as I recall. Others, he did a little patchwork.
Right.
Patchwork and drainage.
Yeah.
And drainage, yeah, a lot of drainage in bunkers.
Yeah.
All the bunkers just all, pretty much all over water.
Right.
Now, they done back to 3 is the other one, I know he's not so drainage. Back to the bunker at 3.
But that's the background behind this, and also, please, go on the website and read the old plan. Its format and approach is terrific, and it's an excellent model for us to build on for the next cycle.
Yeah, and I think there's projects in there that are gonna need to be refreshed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's, as you said, it's a good blueprint to
The first bucket
start on.
was done about 15 years ago. The first wave of bunkers.
The first wave of bunkers.
It's like 15 years ago, was the first.
Yeah, so we're.
And that's go, like I said, I can look and let you know which one we started on, where we get it.
Throughout this list, Mike, there's a whole bunch of cart path work,
Oh,
clearly.
yeah.
And, it's desperately needed a couple places. Have we ever gotten a number on what it would take to do the whole course?
No. Yeah, but we don't, it was, $435,000.
How long ago?
That was like 2 years ago.
So
Yeah, but we don't need to
700.
do a bunch of.
Well, you've
But we
been
don't need to do
patchworking
all-
it.
Yeah, we don't need to
That's
do
the
it all
problem.
now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just to redo it. So, I don't know, I got, we're trying to get those numbers together for 16, 7, and at least 10, that's,
Yeah.
10 green.
Right.
And, you know, we keep patchworking, and
Yep.
at some point, the question is, does that make sense, or do you bite the bullet and do them all? I think I heard that in the Board of Finance meeting, actually. It's a big number, clearly.
Well, and there's some discussion about the town's whole approach to paving for the town-wide,
Mhm.
and whether or not including this in that program might make sense, and I don't know where that stands.
Well, we're particularly not adept at manhole covers in this town, from what I've noticed, so I don't know how they do with cart paths.
Well, we have a real issue in the back of the course. We don't have 8-foot wide cart paths. If you ever need to get an ambulance in there, you'd never do it.
I mean, there is a rationale for doing everything lockstep
Exactly.
at once.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make a case for safety,
Right,
and they can't
exactly.
fight that. They could bond that thing.
Yeah. The other problem is, like, if you look at 6, 7, 10, doing the cart paths there, and we still got the drainage problem, so I kind of like to get the drainage.
Understood.
Save over, and not have to go, and not
And-
to take up the cart path we just put in, because I got the drainage.
What a freaking mess I got myself into.
You volunteered.
Who did?
So, should we, trying to think how we best kind of go about this. Do we start a kind of a subcommittee on this, or do we all, probably the best way to go, I guess? And someone help lead that with a group of people? That's a lot to put on.
I'd like it, but I wish I could.
No. But, I think we probably need a few people on that just to kind of get started and help lead the rest of us through that.
I'd be happy to try,
I'm
and
happy.
I don't pretend to be a strategic planner.
I am
I'd
not
be
a
happy to get
strategic
involved.
planner, but I'm
Never
happy.
mind. I'll be on the subcommittee. I don't know if I
Okay.
can lead it, but I'll be on there.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, well, I'll do it as well then. You want,
Yeah.
the three of us, anybody else want to jump in on the fun? No?
Well, I'll participate if
Okay.
I can.
All right, sure,
So it's everybody goes in.
okay.
Just the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, great. So, or Mike and I will work on that. Great. Okay, good. We'll come up with the name of the subcommittee. Let's come up with something very clever.
Yes.
I don't know, strategic planning subcommittee or something, long-term strategic planning. All right, let's move on to communications. Senator Tony Wang is here. He sent an email that we all received. Senator?
Oh, thanks. First, let me say, my name's Tony Huang. I live at 80 Martingale Lane, 30-plus year resident of Fairfield. Had the real pleasure to be able to play the course. It's been a gem in the community, so I want to thank you all for serving. After hearing this meeting, my respect is even more elevated. What I'd like to be able to do is also make 3 suggestions for the board, for the commission to consider, and obviously to be able to get the guidance from Bob, Peter, and Anthony from the respective bodies. The 3 proposals would be, I think the first one is to ask to be able to put a hitting net right off the first tee, right behind the cart barn. There's a bunch of trees, to be able to set the hitting bait behind those trees, so it's a bit protected. And it would really allow people who are early morning or just getting out of work to be able to hit a couple of swings before they hit their ball into Easton on the right. But I think it's one where, you know, we can offer that kind of a benefit. I don't think it'd be that loud to be buffeted by it, but obviously we would see counsel from Bob as well as Peter and Anthony to kind of create the best way. I did some roundhouse estimate, 2 or 3 bays hitting that would be about 2,500. But I would again defer, but I'd love for the commission to consider that for players that are just coming in, particularly for leagues or early morning players. It would be a huge benefit that aren't able to get up to the range. But if you got, you know, an hour spare, you go to the range and do that. But for many people that just get up to the tee, it's a precarious first swing. So that is one of the proposals I'd like the ask commission to consider. The second is, and I think the timing is perhaps after the short game and the range renovation occurs, is to be able to consider some fee schedules when you get the proper dollars and allocations of the budget. But again, deferring to Bob and Anthony in this case, and the commission, to be able to consider a annual membership for the range. And the reason I suggest that is I think it would really benefit introducing the game to a whole group that would never be able to play the game. You know, there's been many times, you know, you get a bucket of balls and some parents or some first-time golfer gets up there, they hit 40 balls and they dribble it 30 feet. But having an unlimited range would allow them to learn the game, develop comfort and enjoy the experience of hitting a ball. I think the other part of the benefit of having a possible annual fee would allow the town as well as the golf course to be able to net some proceeds, just like the pass is allowing to give money into your pocket. So the idea, I'm using a hypothetical, $300 for the range year. It could be higher, it could be lower, based upon estimates provided by Anthony and Bob. But the idea is if you get 100 people at 300 that prepay, it's money built into your system on a capital cost that's fixed because the balls are there, but you would engage more people. Now, obviously, there may be players like that would use it beyond the threshold and the cost basis, but those I think would be far between. But I think for me, the premise is it allows us to introduce the game to more people that would never otherwise want to get out there and hit balls. The third proposal that I just came up and made me think about it was the fact that, and this would have to be worked in concert with the town as well as law enforcement, is the consideration of being able to put surveillance cameras on our parking lot. I actually, about 2 years ago, came back from a golf trip and didn't unpack my luggage. I went to the putting green for about half hour, 45 minutes, and my luggage was taken out of my car. And I'm concerned that there is the possibility of future vandalism that may occur, particularly for a golf course that has such appeal and is drawing more and more people outside the area. I think the ability to have some surveillance camera has a bit of safety and maybe a forewarning as a preemptive measure against people that may vandalize and take people's clubs, or sometimes people go around, forget to lock their cars, to be able to scan through. I think that has to be done in concert with, obviously, law enforcement. But the fact that we have no surveillance cameras in the whole vast of our parking lot is a bit of concern.
So you're talking about the driving range and...
Not the driving range, no, just merely the parking lot of the golf course. So that, you know, patrons that are going to play golf, that may, or people that may leave their clubs on the rack, better visitors. Unfortunately, it's the world we live in. And the fact that it does not have any surveillance is frustrating. When my bags were stolen, law enforcement said, there's no way we can identify anything. We don't have a camera there.
Yeah.
That was a thought that probably when the building was designed and built, you didn't think as much about it, but unfortunately it is part of the reality that we live in. And it may be, again, a preemptive measure to let people know that the parking lot is surveilled with closed circuit TV, and that may prevent people that may want to, vandalize and theft. So those are the three things that I would ask the commission to consider. But again, all of that should be done, and I ask in concert with the guidance of Bob and Peter on the course and the construction of the various things, with the Hidden Bay and also with Anthony. And I'd be glad to help any way I can.
And Boca.
Huh?
And Boca,
Yeah, I was thinking Boca too.
the restaurant, their parking lot too.
Well, maybe they can contribute to it, but the reality is, this is the town property, and
No,
unfortunately.
I'm not disagreeing, I'm just saying there's another party that should have an interest in this.
Do we know, does the town put cameras up on other parking lots in town? Anybody know?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Does Bill?
I've been in contact.
Yeah,
with
we've already
Kelly.
bid it out.
Because they put cameras in pro shop.
We're gonna get it done.
Through the town?
Yes.
Good.
It's
Oh,
gonna-
good.
We're gonna have them at the range too. We're happy with the range.
Oh, but a new one, yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, well. See what we're talking?
Yeah, I mean, and if there's anything that I can do to help in that, I think it gives a better reassurance, and maybe as a preemptive.
There's been enough stuff.
I've already talked to the head of IT and so David Kelly, I said, we need 3 to 4 cameras outside. And I said, where can we, he said, we put them on the light poles, it's really expensive, we gotta put them underneath eaves around the clubhouse here. And he said it'd be about $1,000 a camera, I said, well, that's fine, we're gonna probably need like 4 cameras.
What about at your?
Actually, I have cameras, I don't know why they put cameras inside, but, I do not, well, I guess we get up the range, we'll put it.
But that was when it's in the range.
Okay, yeah.
It's a line item in the.
Good.
And it probably law enforcement would be part of that. Anything I can do to help facilitate, I ask for the commission to consider it. Obviously, you're the governing body in that. Anything I can do to help it, I'm happy to, but those are the 3 proposals that I would love to be able to have the commission consider. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. And I also have the privilege of being able to serve as a board member of the Connecticut State Golf Association. So if there's any liaison or issues in which the CSGA, Bob is a very active member of it, very well respected. If there's anything I can do as a liaison, happy to do so.
Bob, not to put you in the spot, what do you think about the Hidden Bay?
I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's gonna be that much money in there. There is a pretty good area for it.
Yeah.
That one to me, I don't know about what everybody else thinks, that to me seems like a great idea.
I agree.
I think it's a great idea.
Oh,
Maybe
I mean,
pull a
if
little
you want me
pressure
to,
up.
I can definitely price it out.
Yeah.
Is there any other place it could be? I mean,
I've been thinking,
it's gonna be very, noisy right next to the first tee.
it's not really right next to the sea, it's like down near the pine tree. The car park ends at the little hill, there's a pine tree right there facing. But, to your point, it could be. But I'm open to any other suggestions.
Yeah,
I don't see a spot.
But I think protocol could be, if you got a tee time, you go hit a couple balls and you go.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a hitting bait.
It's not a driving, it's
Right.
not a.
No, it's not a
driving
driving range, and I think that should be
Yeah.
part of the consideration.
Yeah.
I did think about, asking for people to make contributions to it, but I think ultimately, if it's a 2,500, I think it's a service to the community,
I don't think we need partners.
What is the traffic flow? So somebody wants to go down there and take their golf bag with them, and they put it on a cart, or they,
No, you
they don't want people driving down.
No, you
putting the
just-
first tee in the cart.
You just you take a club,
Take a driver.
you go in and just hit a couple swings. For those that are playing early in the morning, or,
They
you're
gotta go
coming
around.
straight from
They
the
can't be going
office.
across the tee box.
Well, there's the road trip.
There is a little path down there
But it will be,
People will be
People will
walking
be
back.
walking.
people.
But I think it'd be a great service for people that,
I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but I'm just trying to think practically, how do we manage it? The starters, I guess, will have to be responsible for it.
They're very busy, yeah.
yeah.
I know.
well, no one should be be going down to the tee box unless they have tee time soon enough,
Yeah.
right? It isn't one where someone's just gonna go there and hit balls. It is reserved as part of the tee time initiative. That's the way I think it.
And do we provide the balls?
No.
We haven't been down that.
We haven't
rabbit
gone
hole
There'll be
yet.
10 balls laying around.
Yeah, don't take them.
But I think that would be a great help.
If you hit them into a net, you don't have that big of a problem picking them up.
Exactly.
Grab them out of the pond on 18 and throw them over there.
Good idea.
Take a penny, leave a penny.
But in regards to the driving range, I would probably think about with the new passage, and congratulations on that, to be able to gauge what the pricing will be down the road, but I would ask the commission to consider maybe the annual fee, the money to be able to be deposited into the bank, so to speak.
Nice.
The public wants to make it.
Is that who you have in mind?
That's how it's gonna sound when you're getting that.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
You know.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And we will take a, I think we haven't even gotten to the new driving range, the pricing and fees on that, but we'll take that into consideration.
And if there's anything that's needed to approach, in regards to the camera, I'd be happy to be an advocate and support in any way I can. I think it's the best deterrent that gives a greater sense of the experience and sense of security and safety. So, yeah.
The train's here, Tony.
Well, yeah, it's time to go. There's a basketball game tonight.
I know, by the way, we're getting out of here soon.
And if I may, Michael, blessings and prayers for your help. Okay?
No problem, I'm gonna be fine, I'll be back
Thank
in
you.
2 months.
Thanks, Peter. All right.
I'll be back.
Have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Public comment?
This never happened with Keith, but he's,
Oh my God, too funny.
That is so true. All right, I don't think we have any other public to comment.
Somebody left.
Yeah, I know he left, I don't know.
Okay.
John, do you have anything to say? Sorry.
What Mr. Owens was talking about, is our driving it down there, part three, you have to be real careful of people walking in while other people shoot. So the liability is there. We police that all day,
Okay.
for that.
So tell me what that means.
We have 6 slots, okay?
Yeah,
And people start banging balls into it. And
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't supply enough balls to it
yeah,
to make it, but they use it.
yeah.
Quite a bit, and people walk in after the balls, while people are still hitting balls off the net.
On the adjacent.
On the adjacent net,
On the
yeah.
adjacent.
So you gotta be real careful about that.
Yeah,
All right?
that makes sense.
The other part is, the other issue we have down here is, our putting green is not just a putting green. It becomes a chipping green, and then somebody covets the putting green, or putting green as a chipping green, so other people can't putt. So that becomes an issue with our putting green down there, okay? Those are just little things I'm throwing out that,
Yeah.
you might be talking about, as you progress down through that.
Can you put a no chipping sign up? Without a.
Sure, I did that too, but that's not the point. The point is, you guys chip up here to your greens, so they come down there when they get time in between. It's the same deal, it's sort of parallel.
You put no car sign in.
So, I mean, that's just something I would think of, as you progress with the tee area on the side of the first tee there. Also, people will bring their bags down there, there won't be just one single foot. And they will covet that area to drive balls like that. And that happens, it's just human nature. So be careful with that.
Yeah.
Relation issues. And yeah, we do have cameras. We have cameras that walking down there. We put them on. But they're just trail cameras, and they're movement cameras. So we get it at night.
Oh, on the course, yeah.
So,
Critter cams.
those are the little things that we have down there. I think the first tee your area there that he's presenting is a great idea, but somehow you're gonna have to do it. That, like you were saying.
Yeah. Bob, on the camera thing, you guys were just talking about what's gonna be on the building, right? Not,
Oh, so it'll shine the whole parking lot.
Oh, it'll
We're
hit
gonna
the
have
parking
one,
lot?
hopefully, as you come and exit too, so that we can get place.
oh, I see,
Yeah.
down toward the
So we
entrance?
had the guy come out, Brian, from Minnesota, came out and he quoted us a number on it last year. And then it kind of stopped where we think it stopped. And then we revisited it with the IT guy last week.
Right.
And he had money, so I think it might even come out of non-golf.
Yeah.
That's the ideal scenario.
That is the ideal scenario.
But he thought we should have it too.
Makes sense, big part.
There has been some facts that I heard from the police, that there's been enough incidents where I think it's justified.
And the police show, well, let's go to the cameras. We don't have any.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the problem. And that was one of the bigger concerns at the range with the security of the top stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
There will be cameras, but
Can you
they really
are they
just
gonna
dummy
put-
monitors, there's like nothing to them, and they come with a case around them.
Yeah,
That like, what's worth stealing, a monitor you can't sell, maybe vandalism, but they've experienced none of that at any of their sites.
Oh, they haven't?
Yeah. We're hoping to see.
I returned a rental car a while back, and got a letter in the mail from the rental company saying, there's $4,000 worth of damage. I said, nothing happened. And they said, well, you owe it, we're gonna pay your insurance company. I said, let me see the video.
Yeah.
And, they came back and said, we're good.
Yeah, the guy parking.
There was no video.
Yeah, like, the guy
Car was
parking.
clean,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Do we have anything else?
Just abating my existence, divots and ball marks and rake traps. And I don't know how, my lowly appointment to this commission could impact that, but I'd love to find a way. I don't know how to make it happen, but, I'm gonna be, and you know what really bothers me, coming into the new season, if you looked on 11, on 17, someone was out there with a shag bag taking divots. 13 too. There were 4 or 5 holes that were, it was egregious what the knucklehead did.
Well, that
When the
happened
course
over
is
the winter,
closed.
didn't it?
We
Of course,
talked about
of course.
that in December, January, yeah.
We're not gonna have somebody out here 24/7 in a nice day in February, I understand, but it's, the mentality of people not to understand that they need to replace divots, fix ball marks and rake traps is infuriating. If anybody has any suggestions, I always wanted to have the rangers have the ability to throw someone off a golf course if they saw them not rake a trap or replace a divot. That's a little egregious, I guess, but maybe some more signage. I don't know what the answer is, but it's a good golf course. It would be better if we had someone doing what they're supposed to, everyone doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
And I'm preaching to the choir, so I
yeah,
understand.
the ball marks is the thing that's really,
This time of year, it's fun to find a ball mark, for me. But,
Wait a
when
couple
it
months.
starts growing,
yeah.
you can't miss it.
Right.
So there's gotta be an answer. I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you one thing exciting in that world, is we got better divot mix coming in.
Oh, great.
Yeah, good.
You know what?
Better.
Better divot mix, in my opinion.
That's important.
Oh.
Divot mix.
Divot.
Divot work mix.
DIV.
For the tees or in the?
So all the cars, and the teams, yeah, everywhere.
Good. With tees in it?
Yeah. Easily, yeah, this stuff has to be there. This is, we joke about it, but I think it's really important. The quality of that, whatever you're replacing it with has to grow.
Yeah.
Like I do with the guys out there, like quarter 2, quarter 9,
I think the
top
divots,
7.
I think the divots personally are from when you stay up on the road too late, and then they make the first cut in the spring, and the mowers just bring up all those after frost.
Stuck in the grass.
I don't know, that's what it seems like to me, like on 3, or now, there's already too many, and if you look at them, they're from last year, and it's just a large.
Maybe right now.
You don't know, yeah, exactly.
I've already made them, I might just talk about.
Yeah, I
handle
don't
it,
have
yeah.
time.
So one last comment, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So I tried this a couple years ago, and I think it was shot down. The men's club would love to find a way to adopt a whole, to fill in divots. And maybe the women's ladies club would like to do this too, but, we would have 2 or 3 guys assigned to each hole, and once a week go out and fill divots. And I think that might be against the work rules here, or, I can't remember.
Union rules, I don't know, it's, that was, it's a while back.
I think there's
I'll
still,
look into it.
there's still an active group of people that would like, we think it would be a tiny bit of work, and it'd be worth, if we can get it past, the union side, I think the men's club would like to make that happen, and hopefully, maybe the women's club would too, I don't know.
And the same.
I think it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Great idea. You don't think that would be allowed?
Well, I can't remember, I brought it up, it was kind of, when I used to come to meetings.
then get the union guys to do it.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Then get the union guys to do it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
They got things to do.
I'm kidding.
Well, private,
If they're
you know,
gonna
private
oppose
clubs do that stuff all the time, I know.
it. Yeah.
So it's
With
not-
their members?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's a great idea.
Well, Peter, I'd love to hear, if that's an option.
I'll look into it.
Cool, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm about to call a UConn timeout, so go ahead.
I'm over your turn.
Fantastic.
I second.
Favor?
All right.
All right, thank you, everybody.